Hello, I'm Anna.
I'm George.
And we're from CompletelyNovel.com.
And we wanted to find out, why would you spend the weekend at the Ways with Words Festival?
Try saying that one drunk. So, are you sure you know where we're going? Oh, now you're quiet. Oh, now you decide not to say anything. Fine. We'll just go into the middle of nowhere. Fine.
At least we think it's Devon, but we were told it was meant to be sunny.
Yeah, it could be Wales. Don't know.
But we're very excited, loads of really interesting people to meet, and we should be talking to some of them very soon.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much.
I'm Andrew Motion, and I'm at Dartington giving the biannual Ted Hughes Memorial Lecture.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you wanted people to take away from your talk today?
Yeah, well, I have a great admiration for Ted Hughes. I have a great admiration for him as a person and as a poet. But I also think that, interestingly, perhaps as a result of being rather underpraised sometimes in life, there is a tendency for people now to simply kind of pin the great poet label on him without quite quizzing the poems closely enough about where the greatness might most obviously lie. So I was trying to have an argument with myself about this, and my idea really was to try and say that for my money, he's at his best where there is a kind of tension between the wanting to break outside of his personality, the kind of raw, wild, shamanistic, free-thinking and free-forming poet, and the rather more surprisingly, given his reputation, boxed, confined, formal, orthodox poet.
My name's Kay Dunbar, and I'm the festival director of the Ways with Words Literature Festivals. We started running a festival here 18 years ago. And we started really because this is our local festival. We now do 3 festivals, but this is our nearest one. We live about a mile away, and it is such a beautiful environment. I felt this is the right place for the kind of things we wanted to do.
Interesting, because the talks are focused on books, but then they also address lots of the wider issues that are going on at the moment.
Yeah, things that are to do with the media's role in political life,
science, string theory.
Yeah, general theories of how we communicate, those kinds of things.
I'm Rod Stoneman, and we've been showing a film called The Revolution Not Be Televised, and talking about the coup in Venezuela, attempted coup in Venezuela in 2002.
If someone was to walk out for your talk with thinking of 3 key messages, what would they be, you would hope?
Key messages? What I wanted to say was that we should, whether we've done media courses or not, we should be a little more sceptical, a little more analytical and probing about the images we live within, about the media in all its forms. And the fact I worked in the media in a way is neither here nor there. I think everybody needs to have to take a little moment or two to look at the complexity behind black and white headlines and the first thing you thought of when you saw that picture.
Okay, great. Well, thanks very much for talking to us, and despite the rain, the festival will be televised. Thanks very much. But it's not all harmonious, is it?
Well, no, and we definitely saw some polarised opinion on some of the talks. You've just come from seeing Polly Toynbee and David Walker speak. What did you think about what they had to say?
Oh, yeah. It's I'm a social worker, so I see the poverty, and it just highlighted how fractured society's got, really.
Yes, I did go to see Polly Toynbee, and I disagreed with her for about 90% of what she was saying. I thought was incorrect.
Well, I thought both talks really were quite sort of inspirational. The voice of the left is not very articulate at the moment, to say the least, and it was so good to hear such a cogent argument put forward.
The social mores, the way she thought our economy ought to be reapplied the way schooling, her ideas on the Labour government, that they were doing a fantastic job with education. I couldn't disagree with her more.
It really makes a book come alive when you've seen who's written it and they talk about it. And yesterday, Sally Vickery said that she didn't feel her books came alive till she'd actually talked to people about how they reacted to them.
Bring sunscreen and an umbrella, so you're covered for every weather.
That's definitely very wise.
Every eventuality.
Yeah.
I've not been before, and I'm really sorry that I haven't been before.
The main thing here is the setting. I don't think you could beat this stunning setting.
We love the atmosphere. We like to have our little grey cells joggled, maybe in a direction that they haven't been jogged before.
Yeah.
I suppose it's being with like-minded people is kind of comforting and inspiring, and hearing people who are movers and shakers in our society.
So it's the second day of the festival, and luckily it's cleared up a bit, so we haven't got so much rain today, which is fantastic because you can see the beautiful surroundings of Dartington Hall. So there are some really interesting people here today, and even some off the telly. Wow!
Today, the first one. My book is pouring away.
Okay, so now we're here with Michael Buerk. You've been filling the Sunday morning slots.
The early Sunday, well, I don't know about early, but 9:30 Sunday morning.
Yeah,
Yep.
they did turn up though.
They did, yes. Slightly to my surprise. I did think, this would be a conversation with one or two, but no, it's good. Yeah.
And what were you talking about? In your
Well,
session?
it was a rant really about. Well, it was a sort of grumpy old man type rant, I think. So not all the things that annoy me, because actually the list of things that annoy me are, really quite long. And there's a bit of a thread through it, There's sort of what's wrong with the media and being infantilized by authorities, and all the way through to climate change and things like that. So it was not quite as unfocused as I made it sound, but it was and another thing.
Right. If everyone could take one thing away from your talk this morning, what would you like it to be?
Don't be infantilized. You don't need people on the tube saying, in this hot weather, carry a bottle of water. What?
Yeah.
What's all that about?
What's your favourite thing about events like this?
Well, I go to quite a large number of, as it were, events like this, though some of them, in spite of this appalling weather, are, generally speaking, they're not as nice as Dartington. Dartington's absolutely one of the best. But, and generally speaking, I'm reading my own poems rather than talking about somebody else's. And what I like best is meeting my readers.
Yeah.
I mean, either my existing readers or the new readers that you both create and encounter.
Speaking at lots of the events like this before?
I've been to lots of literary festivals, yeah. I like them. I think they're great. It's such a contradiction to working for television anyway, to have to be able to see the audience and the audience to be intelligent. Now, it's an awful thing to say, isn't it? But interested in more complex things.
Yeah.
And you just look at people who are really sort of anxious to exchange ideas and to listen for more than 30 seconds at a time.
It's actually always got a lively and dynamic attitude and an atmosphere of people enjoying listening and looking and debating.
What's the kind of thing that you would like people who visit the festival to take away with them?
Well, I suppose what you want is that people go having felt that here they've met people who've challenged their thinking, inspired them, made them think more, question more. You want to feel that you've made a slight difference to people's lives.
It's all about enhancing your reading experience by coming to these events and talking to people about the books and hearing a bit more about them. Yeah, and actually a lot of the authors, the speakers here are really approachable, so it's really quite easy to have a chat with those people. Just pull up a chair, buy them a cup of tea. Yeah, why not?